And here we go. Welcome in to another edition of Bucky and BK. Today is Tuesday, August 4th, 2026. And the Buck and I are with y'all for the next 2 hours on today's show. Breakout candidates for the Texas Longhorns here in 2026. Of course, players report today and fall practice officially begins tomorrow. We'll also talk about which Longhorns are under the most pressure to perform here in the 2026 season. We've got some NFL to dive into. Dak Prescott very confident out at Cowboys training camp in Oxnard. Should he be? A little MLB trade deadline recap, some college football headlines. We'll talk SEC football with our guy Chris Phillips of SEC Unfiltered. And in the BBK news today, perhaps the worst national anthem rendition you have ever heard. Oh, yeah. Buckle up for that one. A lot to get into in the world of sports and beyond. We appreciate y'all spending some of your Tuesdays with us. How are you today, my man?
Fabulous. Absolutely fabulous. It's a wonderful day today. It's going to be a wonderful evening, wonderful day, wonderful morning. Everything is all good on this Tuesday. So just looking forward to getting closer and closer to football. Guys, get ready to come from home to campus. Yuck.
Yuck.
Boy, I remember this day. This is one of those days that that I started out with and always been a part of at Boston College, Illinois, and Texas. Moving, but at this time it was mostly moving the freshmen into the dorm because they were in dorms at that time. And it was me carrying their stereo equipment up to their rooms so that they could jam. Those dudes, just all they were doing is saying goodbye, and coaches were moving them in. Man, oh man, I hated those days. And then when I got to Texas, you know how hot it was here? It was so hot doing that. I was like, I can't wait to start screaming at you. Tomorrow, your parents will be out of here in a couple hours. I can't wait to start getting after you.
Oh, it's like sounds like the worst day of the year for an assistant coach then.
Oh, yeah. But I'm wondering now, I mean, are they all kept in one area like they were at the Jester dorms where the cafeteria was where everybody ate? Or does everybody – if you got an apartment on campus where you live, that's where you go. I wonder if that's how it works now. It's probably how it works. I don't think they have football dorms like that anymore.
Well, I know the whole team is scattered, right? I don't know about the freshmen. Maybe they're all in one spot. But as you progress through your Texas career, you get the opportunity to live in different spots. And
sure,
the NIL era that we live in, I'm sure these guys get promised certain spots if they sign with Texas. So I'm sure it's different than what you went through back in the 90s.
I forgot. That's part of the deal, too. No, I'm not going to be on that campus. Where is a nice apartment complex? You know, down where Guadalupe is, do you have an apartment for me? Yeah, that's all a part of the deal, isn't it? Damn.
Oh, yeah. Put me on Rainy Street, put me downtown, put me somewhere else, please.
Wow.
That's how it goes. The times are changing, but
dude, I can't even imagine trying to get to Ricky Williams and get to those guys and Sean Mitchell if they weren't where they were back in the day. How do I get to them when there's 8 minutes before the meeting and I haven't seen them yet? How am I? It would be like, oh, yeah, I would have had a heart attack with all this stuff.
You guys did have cell phones back then, correct?
We did. We had block phones. We were ready to go.
Okay, all right.
Like Rat Patrol, like Desert Patrol phones.
Reno 911 or something like that?
No, that's not true. I didn't have that. I went to cell phones once I got to Illinois, but at Boston College, dude, I had the big block ones like you see in the Army, the old Army movies. Yeah, and those things were like $12 a minute to be on them. And guess who was always on it? Me.
Of course. No one is on their cell phone more than you. And for most people, when you say something like that, they're texting, they're on social media, they're scrolling the web. No, the Buck is on his phone more than anybody else, but it's all calls, baby. Unlimited minutes was the best thing that's ever happened to you.
There's no doubt about it, man. There is no doubt about it. Good day to the soldiers at Fort Hood, Texas, the soldiers in the state of Texas, and all those that fight for us each and every day. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We appreciate everything you do for us all over this world. And to you and your families, please be safe out there.
Yes, indeed. Well, we'll open up with some Longhorn football conversation, and I'll ask you, Buck, do you want to start with the positive? Do you want to start with the negative? Are we going glass half full, or are we going maybe glass half empty to
Let's
open
go.
up?
Let's make that thing half full.
All right, well, then we'll talk about breakout candidates for the Texas Longhorns here in the 2026 season. Our predictions for guys that we think will step up and stand
Mhm.
out. We're not talking about the Arch Mannings of the world. We're not talking about the Cam Colemans or the Colin Simmonses of the world. We know how good those guys are, but which maybe under the radar Longhorns are we expecting big things from this year? And I sort of separated this into three different categories, Buck, and we could go in whatever direction you want to
Okay.
go first. But we can do returning players, right? Guys who were here last year who maybe didn't do a whole lot, who we expect to have a more prominent role in 2026. We could do transfers. And again, not talking about the Cam Colemans or the Raheem Biles of the world, but somebody from the portal that Texas brought in who maybe isn't being talked about enough. And then we can go with the freshmen as well from this top 10 recruiting class that the Longhorns brought in. So if I ask you for a couple of breakout players in your eyes, who would you go with?
I'd go on defense. I would go with as good as, and the kid has played before, Hero Canoe. I think this needs to be a monster year for him. This is a monster year for his paycheck at the next level too. But for this football team, if this guy is second team, borderline first team, all SEC, and he's just that good, and he starts to create havoc as a big man, I think that would be incredible for this team. He's one of them. Bo Mascow, that guy is the next one at cornerback. There's so much to be said about that dude. I want to see this in person. I want him to have just a breakout, prove me wrong about Rutgers all around. Coaching, players. This is the one right here because they speak really highly of him. And that's not just the coaches. That sounds like the other players talk about this kid like he's a special player, you know? So I'm interested in him, you know. And the other one for me is always going to be who's been here before, and he had a great year, Ryan Wingo. I mean, he had a great year.
Oh, my God. You chose the number 2 receiver, the number 1 defensive tackle, and the number 1 cornerback as your breakout guys?
Yes, I like it. I mean, all the other guys I think are solid. I mean, I need them to take us totally over the hump. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I need them to be first teamers or all something, not, you know, maybe fourth team SEC. I need those guys to be, although the wide receiver was what, second team anyway last year?
He was.
Yeah, I need him to be, I don't know if he's going to be first team. I may be happy with second team this year with all the players, not only that Texas has, but other teams may have a wide receiver. But I think Hero Canoe is kind of that guy. Can he be an SEC first teamer?
If I let you keep going, you were going to throw Jelani McDonald and then Trevor Gooseby
No.
and then Arch Manning on your list.
No, I wasn't. Those guys they weren't going to be. But Bo Masco, yes.
All right. Well, we could talk about all three of those guys. I think those are pretty safe picks because I think all three of those guys are really, really good. And starting with Hero Canoe, look, he was a lot better than I think most people expected last year. Texas brought in 5 transfer defensive tackles last offseason and almost felt like Hero Canoe was the least talked about of the 5.
Yes.
And he was the best of the 5, the most productive of the 5. And he went from, all right, maybe he'll be a part of the rotation to, no, this is one of the best guys that we've got on the interior of the defensive line. So, yeah, if he does take that step that you're talking about and becomes an all-conference caliber player, then that'd be huge for Texas, right? As a space eater, as a guy who can help with the run, but also maybe get some pressure from the interior of the defensive line to collapse the pocket. That would make life easier for Colin Simmons on the outside. I mean, Canoe could have gone pro, and I think he would have been a day 3 draft pick. He didn't turn down a bunch of money by coming back to Texas, but this is a dude who I think was good enough as a junior to have been drafted. He decided to leave. Instead, he returns for one more year. And yeah, look, I don't think he's Devondre Sweat. I don't think he's Byron Murphy, but like having guys like that,
yes,
even if he's Alfred Collins or Vernon Broughton, maybe those are more realistic comparisons and ceilings for him. Like, Buck, that can totally change the entire ceiling of a defense.
Dude, if you had the kind of year Alfred Collins had that last year, then now we're talking. That's a big deal for this defense. That's a big deal for first-year defensive coordinator here. That's what you're looking for.
100%. And then Bo Masco, look, I expect big things from him because of, like you said, the way people are talking about him. I mean, I expect him to be the number one corner for Texas, and I expect him to be really, really good. But he's going to need to be really, really good. I mean, going up against the receivers that the Longhorns will have to see, obviously starting in week 2 with the best wideout in college football and Jeremiah Smith, Texas has done a pretty damn good job the last 2 meetings against Ohio State and slowing that guy down. But he's still really good. And Ohio State's got some other receivers too. And then obviously
he's going to be locked up on some other guys besides that dude.
Yeah, exactly. And Ohio State's not the only team that Texas will see with really, really talented wide receivers throughout the season. Tennessee's got a couple. Oklahoma with Isaiah Satania is solid.
Aggies.
Florida, we saw what the Florida receivers did last year. Some of those guys are back, right? A&M with Craver, LSU. The list goes on. It just
he may be even more important than I think of Canoe. I thought of Canoe first. Maybe this guy's more important when it comes to that.
Right.
And what he has to do.
Yeah, he's incredibly important. And look, he was Big Ten honorable mention last year. And you might hear honorable mention and not think that much, but there's only a first and a second team.
Right.
And there's only, I think, 2 corners on each of those teams. So to get an honorable mention nod in an 18-team league like the Big Ten, that's not just, here's a nice participation trophy.
Sure.
Like, you've got to earn that. But, yeah, I mean, Bo Masco, again, you had a really good number one corner. I mean, 2 years ago, you had Jahdae Barron, the Thorpe Award winner.
Right.
Last year, you had Manny Muhammad, who was very, very good as a number one corner. You can't have a big-time drop-off going from those dudes to what you have with Bo Masco.
No doubt.
So I agree. That's an important position and an important player for this Texas team. And then what was the third name you mentioned for breakout candidates?
I always bring Ryan, I always bring Wingo into this because he's the guy to me he will make the difference. I know we talk about the run game, the offensive line. This guy will be the guy that makes the difference on points on this offense.
Yes.
You like the points. You want to get to 40 points. He's the guy.
The second team all-conference player as a breakout candidate for this year.
Yes, I need him to break out and be up there. When we talk about Cam Coleman, I want to be talking about this guy just as close, just right there, just like the rest of them in this conference. When we talk about the receivers from, a kid from Oklahoma, when we talk about the, Craver from A&M, Wingo has to be in the conversation as why not this dude being that guy? If he does what he needs to do, the scoring will go up with this offense.
I need Ryan Wingo to break out from his sickness, from his case of the dropsies that he's had.
Oh, my goodness.
That's all he needs to break out from. Everything else he's already done. But he's got to find a way to cure the dropsies that really plagued him last season. And if he does, we know how much of a threat he is with the football in his hands. If he can just catch the ball down the field, even some short and intermediate routes, he was struggling to catch the ball last year. It wasn't just those deep shots and those contested catches. If he could just get a little more consistent with those hands, then he will do those things.
And maybe I look at it the wrong way, BK. If they run the ball, maybe he doesn't feel as much pressure on some of those routes that he does when he drops some of those easy ball. Maybe when they run the ball, the pressure is not as much on him. Well, Cam Coleman's going to take some pressure off of him anyway.
Yeah.
I don't know. He's got it all in the right place set up for him. Offensive line can't be any worse. Running backs going to be better. Quarterback, another year under his belt. Another star on the other side of him at wide receiver. It can't get any easier for him. It's just the fundamentals of the game.
Right. And you talk about Texas handing the ball off to Ryan Wingo to get him in a rhythm.
Yes.
It felt like 4 or 5 games in a row. The first play was a little bubble screen to Ryan Wingo. You can't get a receiver more in a rhythm than that.
No.
That's the best and easiest thing you could do to build up some confidence for a wide receiver. And those plays worked a lot, but sometimes they didn't. I remember the Georgia game. Texas called it. It had Georgia fooled, which blew me away. It had Georgia fooled. The problem is Manning's throw was a little offline and Wingo didn't catch it, so it's an incomplete pass.
Right.
But I remember that replay. It's if that's converted, Wingo maybe takes that for a touchdown, and we could be talking about something completely different in regards to a Georgia Bulldog Texas Longhorns matchup.
For most receivers, that is just a little change that needs to be made in what he does. For him, it's a major change, and he's had to work. I mean, that guy has spent the summertime doing that stuff, over-exaggerating catches, making sure he's got the ball, because once he's got it, it's all good. And like I said, if you want to get him in a rhythm, hand it off to him twice on a reverse or a quick screen, or do whatever you have to do, a little bubble screen. Just dump it off. Let him.
There's no more that Texas can do to get that dude in the rhythm.
No, that's all on him. This is all on him. It's not on his coach. His coach is a good coach. Now that's just the player now.
Yeah, I think so too. But you're right. I mean, he raises the ceiling of this offense. If he does take that step and his hands get more consistent and he gets a little bit better down the field on those contested catches.
How many yards did that guy leave on the table? For a guy who still caught 800 yards, I mean, how much did he leave on the table?
At least 250.
Wow.
At least. Like, it's just plays that are coming to top of mind right now.
That's just catching without him making guys miss. Just
right. And I'm not talking about, like, those 50-50 balls if he caught all of them. I'm talking about, like, just drops and screen passes and just miscommunications with Arch Manning. Like, maybe I'm being a little lenient by only saying 250 here. It could have been more than that. And you're right. He went for 834 and 7 touchdowns last season. So
yeah, this is a guy who could have been. It would have been ridiculous. And we're not even talking about once he catches the ball, what happens after that. You know?
Right. Exactly. All right. I like those breakout candidates. Not really breakout candidates, but I like those guys that you came up with.
All right. Who do you like? I mean, who are you thinking of breaking out?
I'll try to go a little more off the beaten path. I'll start with a couple of transfers on offense. Michael Masunis, the tight end from Michigan State. We've talked about that position a lot. Almost feels like a position that's sort of up for grabs here in fall camp. You've got 4 candidates, 4 guys who are talented, 4 guys who I think are all going to play. But Masunis coming in from Michigan State, he was one of the first players that Texas signed out of the portal.
Yes.
Big guy, expected to be more of an inline tight end, more of a block first guy, but he did have 19 catches and 3 touchdowns for Michigan State last year. So he gives you a little something.
So you want to know why is he here? You want to know what is it that you do here?
Yeah. Well, why did Texas go out of its way to bring you in first?
Yes.
What was so important about you that, and look, he was pretty solid in the spring, did a lot of good things. But I don't know if he really separated himself from Spencer Shannon or Nick Townsend or Amari Winston. So, again, all those guys are going to play. But, I'm looking for Texas to have a true red zone threat at the tight end position.
Sure.
This red zone offense has to get better. Now, you've got Arch, you've got the running backs, you've got the receivers. It does not have to be Michael Masunis. But just having a big body that you can throw to over the middle of the field or just lob it up to in a one-on-one against a linebacker, that'd be huge. And as CB says, Pro Football Focus is very high on Michael Masunis, the highest graded returning tight end in college football, which is kind of crazy to me. I don't expect him to be the best tight end in college football or anything like that, but I'm excited for him. I think he's going to make a bigger impact in the passing game than people realize.
Okay.
And then I'll go with an offensive lineman like Melvin Siani from Wake Forest. I don't know if breakout's the right term for him, but with all of the transfers that Texas brought in, people aren't going to talk about him that much. And he's an offensive lineman, so people naturally aren't going to talk about him that much. But last year, Texas had some problems at right tackle. Brandon Maker had a bunch of penalties early on, and it took him a while to really find his sea legs. I think in the second half of the year, he was a lot better. But that was not a problem-free position for Texas in 2025. I think it will be a pretty problem-free position for Texas. Trevor Gooseby is the best left tackle in America. I don't think Melvin Siani is going to be the best right tackle in America, but I think Longhorn fans are going to feel really good about their bookend guys on the offensive line.
Okay.
So those are my offensive predictions for breakout candidates. And then on defense, a guy that we've talked about, I'll go with the transfer first, Juice Cryer from Florida State, the linebacker. Yep. I'm not going to pick Raheem Biles. He's
sure,
too good.
He is what he is. He's been an All-American, so he should still be playing at that level. You're not expecting anything but the best from him.
No, he's already broken out. But yeah, I expect big things from Juice Cryer. I'm curious to see if he's just an early down backer or if he's a guy that the coaching staff can trust to put in there on all 3 downs, right? As a run stopper, he's very, very good and has been over his career at Florida State. But is he good enough to play in space and to cover and, again, to be an every down backer here? And then I'll go with Lance Jackson, too. The 5-star edge rusher going into his second season on the 40 acres. Should be getting a lot more opportunities with Ethan Burke off to the NFL. There's a lot of competition in that edge room. That's a job that's not going to be handed to him. There's, Zeno Meozulu, there's Justice Terry, there's Richard Wesley, there's Colton Vosick. There's a lot of guys who are fighting for scraps in that edge spot opposite of Colin Simmons. But Lance Jackson, to me, has the best chance to make a big, big impact. Big frame, but he's got some quick twitch. He's got to get better as a run stopper this season. But, you're looking for a difference maker. I think that's one of the most important positions on the defense, Buck. The guy opposite of Colin Simmons, whoever it is.
I'll be looking at that.
Yeah, someone's got to step up, and I think Lance Jackson is the guy who's got the best chance.
People aren't running at Colin Simmons. Every once in a while they'll try, but they're not going to spend much time over there doing that.
No, I hope they do.
They're going to try to figure out ways, how do we double him?
Right. And leave Colin Simmons one-on-one. Leave him on an island and run at him. Do all of those things, please. We would love to see that this year.
Only Oklahoma would do something dumb like that.
They are pretty dumb up there, aren't they?
Yes, they would do that. They would have some guy say, I got him, and just get mauled by him.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what Colin Simmons does. I mean, we all are excited to see what Colin Simmons does in year 3. What he's done in his first 2 years has been pretty ridiculous. And it's not like this will be the first season where opposing teams are paying attention to him. So he's been getting a lot of attention, and he's been keeping coordinators up at night. And contract year for him. Will Muschamp's defense, I think Muschamp's going to move him around and try to find ways to allow him to attack from a number of different angles. I think it's not a breakout year, obviously, for Colin Simmons, but it wouldn't surprise me if he eclipses his statistical production from a very productive 2025 season.
And you'd have to say the freshman would have to be the running back and the wide receiver, obviously. Where do they fit in?
Yeah, with Cooper and Jermaine Bishop. Yeah, if you're talking about freshmen, I know those are the two most ballyhooed freshmen since they've been here, but you can't just pick a random guy because he's probably not going to play.
Right.
So those are your two most likely, definitely on the offensive side of the football, breakout candidates. I feel like Derek Cooper should be number 1 on that list just because there's not as many good running backs as there are receivers here. Obviously, more receivers play at one time than running backs do. But yeah, Derek Cooper's probably the safest pick with the way people have been talking about him since he arrived on campus.
And it's just a matter of one play for the wide receiver to make, and then all of a sudden everybody starts to go nuts over him. Like I said, it doesn't matter who you make that play. People get hung up, oh, that wasn't against Ohio State. You make that flash play in the first game against Texas State, and the whole crowd, every time you take the field or you go into a game, is buzzing. And that's what the coaches want, that buzz. They want to feel it. They want the fans to feel it when you decide to put a guy like that in, a young guy, because generally when you put him in, there's a good chance it's going to him. And that's good. And that's good for the crowd. That's good for the fans. That's good for your team.
Yeah. No, those Texas fans who are crazy enough and fan enough to attend to that 2:30 kickoff against Texas State on September 5th. Yeah, they're excited to see Cam Coleman. You want the new toys, right? So the transfers, everyone's going to be excited to see. Of course, Arch Manning's number 1, but those two freshmen, everybody knows about them. So back in the day, maybe pre-social media, maybe before college football was as popular as it was, and before recruiting was as big of a deal as it is, it's like you don't really know who the freshmen are. You just, oh, wow, cool, this guy's great. Everyone knows who Jermaine Bishop Jr. is. Everybody knows who Derek Cooper is. We've been talking about him, and we've been hearing about him since, obviously, before they got to campus, but especially since January when they arrived. Like, people are going to be clamoring to see those dudes. There's going to be cheers when those guys come on the field.
Absolutely.
For the first time. Not just like, oh, who was that? It's going to be, oh, hell yeah, there he is.
Yeah, that's the buzz that you're looking for, the young buzz, when he gets a chance to get on the field with some of these good veteran players.
And then on defense,
it's going to be
good enough. You're old enough. I'm going to bring a sign to DK on that day.
And then the safety position. Whose job is that? Whose job? Well, we know that the starter has a good chance at it, but who will be the backup? Because guys just don't stay healthy. It's just a hard position to stay healthy at because you got to do a lot of tackling, a lot of movement, a lot of change of direction. Ankles, you get the ankles. You got to make those tackles. You get driven by somebody else. It's not always you. Friendly fire happens with those guys at safety. who's the next man up, and how important will that next man be?
Well, if you're talking about breakout candidates, then
All
Jonah
of them?
Williams. Oh, Jonah Williams is probably your breakout at safety. Like
Yeah.
Jelani McDonald's not a breakout guy. He's a stud.
No.
I don't think you can call Derek Williams Jr. a breakout guy because he's already been here for a long time and had good seasons at Texas. So you start looking to those depth guys that you're talking about, and maybe it's Kobe Black making the move from corner to safety. Maybe it's a younger guy like Jordan Johnson Rebel. Maybe it's Xavier Filsaime, although he's playing a lot of star, it sounds like. But Jonah Williams is that's the breakoutest, outest breakout candidate there is on this team, is it not?
Well, yeah, but can I honestly tell you, I don't see him. I don't see him on the field. I can't see it. I think you've named too many others that will play in front of him.
I don't know. I mean, I think there's only two guys at safety who are guaranteed to play over him, and that's Jelani McDonald and Derek Williams Jr. Now, look, you've got other guys there, but I don't think anybody else is like that good or that proven to where it's like there's no chance Jonah Williams can pass them up on the depth chart here in fall camp. So, look, people are betting against it. I understand. There's a lot of UTSD that comes in anytime you bring up Jonah Williams' name. But it's not like he's, you still got Michael Taft.
See, I'm at that spot. I'm up that spot in the coaching part of it. I'll see it when I see it now,
Sure, that's fair.
And that's just, I mean, that's all I can do. I can't say what a great athlete he is because I haven't seen him as a football athlete for a long, long time. And you tell me even in high school, you didn't see him at the end of his.
He did play last year. Like,
well, I mean, he didn't do anything that.
No, I mean, he was a freshman. You had Michael Taft and you had Jelani McDonald at safety. So, like, he wasn't playing a lot. But,
right.
I mean, again, he's only a sophomore. People talk about this guy like he's year 5 and he's got 4 years of getting hurt in football every single season. He's only a sophomore. I don't know if
four sports at getting hurt in the 4
I got it. I know. But I'm keeping the faith. Maybe too much faith. Maybe I'm an idiot for being as confident as I am.
You want the best for the kid, and you want, like I said, the kid's not trying to get hurt.
Right.
I mean, I look on this text line a lot of times when we mention that kid, and he's stealing money. I mean, that dude doesn't want to be hurt.
Right.
Who the hell wants to be hurt?
No, I don't think people wish for him to be hurt. And I don't think people wish ill will on Jonah Williams. I think everybody wants him to be good. But at this point, his Texas career has been what it's been. And again, I'm confident it's only his second football season. If he gets hurt in this football season, then you really start to sound the alarm bells a little bit more. I think that would be fair.
As I said, desk job after this year.
Well, I don't know if it's desk job. It's pick one sport and hope and pray.
And even if for that one sport, you're right.
So that may be what happens next, but hopefully we don't have to continue those conversations. All right, we'll dive back into the Longhorns. More Texas football to talk about. Maybe the people under the most pressure to perform in 2026. We've got a lot of NFL conversation, and we'll go around the SEC as well.
Hey, nice shout out to our buddy Craig Castleberry. He's listening to us this morning.
Yeah, saw that. Shout out, Craig, on Facebook.
Very nice.
You can catch the show on the Facebook every day, too.
Is that face chat? Snap face? Slap face? Is that a new one?
Facebook?
Oh, that's an old one. I've heard that one before.
I think you just invented 3 new platforms, though.
Oh.
What did you say? Snapface?
Okay.
What else did you say? What were the 3 that you just threw out there?
Slapchat.
Slapchat?
Yeah.
Ooh, how does that work?
I don't know. I don't know anything about those. I just name them. I don't know how they work.
All right. I thought you invented something. Slapchat. You just you get to meet with somebody and slap them when you.
That'd be cool.
What kind of slapping are we talking here?
Welcome to the club.
Yeah. I don't know. All right. We'll take your thoughts. Plenty more Longhorn football conversation to dive into. Players report today. Practice gets going tomorrow. But before we keep the Texas chatter rolling along, let's hit our first round of sponsor shout-outs.
Folks, if you are seeking specialized patient-focused orthopedic care, contact the experts at Texas Orthopedics. Their physicians they offer comprehensive surgical and non-surgical orthopedic care, which means rehab if they can, spinal care, sports medicine, joint replacement. Their doctors are dedicated orthopedic surgeons there, and they've got plenty of them. And their goal is to get you right back into good health and the great quality of life that you deserve and that you want. For more information, go to txortho.com. Texas Orthopedics is the largest independent orthopedic practice in Central Texas.
Yes, indeed. Shout out Texas Orthopedics. Also, some love to our friends at centextickets.com. 32 days away from Texas and Texas State. If you want to be inside the walls of DKR, Texas Memorial Stadium for the season opener, only one place you need to go to find your tickets. That is centextickets.com. And of course, it's not just the game against the Bobcats. Every game, home and away, the neutral site game in Oklahoma. Yeah, Centex Tickets has you covered. Don't forget to use the promo code CENTEX10. If you type that in at checkout, you are going to get 10% off of any ticket purchase from our great friends at centextickets.com.
Also, I'll be talking to Jason here this week at our friends over at Relax the Back about giving a chair away to a teacher that's getting ready to start school. When we start to, get ready to talk about the kids in the car line, we're going to try to get a nice chair for their teacher. Hey, better than giving an apple. How about giving a nice chair to your teacher?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Teacher don't want that rotten apple. No, thank you.
Hey, we don't want any butt apples or any butt lettuce being given out to teachers right now.
Is that still a thing? Are students still giving teachers apple? Like, that wasn't a thing when I was a kid. So,
hey, no, dude, it wasn't a thing when I was a kid. I used to see that stuff on TV on like the Real McCoy or something that I would see in black and white. I'm like, nobody gives their teacher an apple. A Little House on the Prairie. That's where I must have seen that first of all. Little John must have given his teacher an apple when he went to class. But our good friends that Relax the Back embrace a holistic approach for a healthier lifestyle. Once again, I'm in my chair for over 20 years. I love this chair. And it's not always about the great chairs that they have. They've got Tempur-Pedic pillows, mattress sets, zero gravity recliners, and they've got the accessories. And also, folks, it's not about waiting till your back starts to hurt or your neck starts to hurt. Let's make sure it doesn't get to that point like the Buck has done. Get some of the great accessories, the vibrating ball that they have, all kinds of accessories that they have at both Relax the Back stores. And they have two great locations. One is at the Hill Country Galleria across the street from Whole Foods, and in North Austin at the Gateway Shopping Center across from the Container Store. Live pain-free like the Buck at Relax the Back.
Oh, yeah. Love my Relax the Back chair. Go see their two stores. Super clean, super nice people, and their selection is fantastic.
Get yourself a little snooze in there before going back to school, kids.
Yeah. You know what you should do? Walk in there with an ice-cold Altstadt beer.
Lay down
on one of those chairs, crack open a beer, and get to drinking.
Put it in the cup holder and just get a little snooze in there while you drink.
Hey, you want to know how the chair is going to actually feel when you're at home?
Hey, see if Brian up here out south would accept that at the Galleria. See if he'll accept that.
What do they say? Practice how you play.
That's right.
Okay. Practice sitting in your chair the way you're going to sit in your chair on game day.
You're going to love the chair. So I believe me, for the price of one of those nice recliners, he's probably going to say, why don't you bring yourself a 6-pack in here?
Yeah,
let's go.
As long as you buy that chair, I think they'll let you bring the Altstadt beer in there. Is there a better combination than football and beer? I don't think there is. And for me, my beer of choice for all of my football watching is Altstadt beer for so many different reasons. Look, I love supporting local business. If that's not clear, the Buck and I, we're all about local on this show. Altstadt is a local beer brewed in Fredericksburg, easy to find all over the state of Texas. They've got a bunch of different brews as well, something for every beer drinker out there. So if you're rolling up to your tailgates or your watch parties and you're not quite sure what people want, get a couple of different 6-packs of Altstadt. Try them all. They are all fantastic. And I'm talking about Altstadt like it's an incredible beer because it is. It's not super expensive. It's like you're getting a luxury car at a family sedan price. Some 6-packs of beer these days, paying $20 for a 6-pack. What are we doing? Altstadt, you're not paying an arm and a leg for a beer that you are going to enjoy every single time. Football's right around the corner. We're 2 days away from the NFL Hall of Fame game. You need a great beer. You're definitely going to need a great beer. Do you see Kenny Pickett starting that game for Carolina? Yeah, you need a beer to get you through that one if you're going to watch. My beer of choice, it's Altstadt beer. Should be yours as well. Altstadt beer, no impurities, no regrets.
Loving it.
All right. So we kind of went glass half full to start off the show, talking Texas football with some breakout candidates. But maybe, I don't know if this is glass half empty, but this is a pressure conversation, Buck. This is a big year for the Texas Longhorns. We know what the expectations are. We're not shying away from them, and nobody inside those walls at Moncrief are shying away from them either. Texas, one of the favorites to win the SEC, one of the favorites to win the national championship. As one of the most talented rosters in all of college football. The expectations are as high as they've been around here in a long, long time. Got a list from our friends at Inside Texas. The 5 people under the most pressure to perform in 2026.
All right, who are the other 4 besides Arch Manning?
Yeah, good call. Arch Manning's number 1 on the list.
Yeah, who are the other 4?
You want to start at 2 or start at 5?
Start at 5 and work your way back to 2, yeah.
Okay, number 5 is Jeff Banks.
Wow. Yeah, I was wondering if any coaches were going to be involved in this.
You had a few coaches.
Holy, yeah. You start out with going from 5 and then you tell me you got a few. I was thinking there was going to be 2 in there at least. Well, no, 3. 3 other, oh my goodness.
You could put a list of the top 5 coaches under the most pressure this year.
Yeah, the head coach is one of them. Yeah, so go ahead.
Yeah, so Jeff Banks is number 5.
Okay.
Look, Texas has had some great special teams moments around here in recent years. They've also had some disastrous special teams moments. And for every awesome play that Texas has had in that third phase, I mean, they had 2 punt return touchdowns and a couple of other big returns last year. There's a lot to be proud of from that unit. But there's also a Georgia onside kick or a Florida block punt for a safety or a fake punt against Georgia. Feels like most of the horrible moments have come against Georgia in those huge games.
And by the way, you can have 3 punt returns for touchdowns, but if you have 1 blocked punt, it like erases that. I mean, that's how special teams goes. You can have all this success, and then you have one guy get loose and block a punt, and you lose a game. Guess what? They don't even care about the ones that you returned.
Yeah, that's sort of how I feel too. And
that's how coaches feel too.
So, like Jeff Banks, he's the tight ends coach as well. He's had a tight end drafted in 3 straight NFL drafts. So, like, he's done a pretty good job there. He's got his work cut out for him a little bit this year because you don't have a super known commodity in that room. But I think this is more related to special teams. He's paid as one of the best special teams coordinators in the country. And he's regarded as one of the best special teams coordinators in the country. And again, there's been a lot of highs, but there have been too many lows for Texas in that third phase. So I don't know. Him and Steve Sarkisian are boys. Like, yes, I want special teams to be more consistent this year. I don't know if I'd put him on this list of guys under the most pressure because I feel like Sark and Jeff Banks are attached at the hip. I don't think he would get rid of Jeff Banks unless somebody got rid of him. But it would definitely be nice for, again, to not be like, why is this still happening at special teams? Jeff Banks has been here as long as Steve Sarkisian has. So all of it's year 6, this should be figured out by now conversations you have with Sark.
The next fake punt that happens, people are going to lose their minds. And so is the head coach. And he's going to do so that he may not be attached at the hip any longer if there's a fake punt in a huge game like Ohio State or Florida or somebody like that. That may all end in a hurry.
Yeah, special teams has cost Texas dearly in big spots. I mean, it cost Texas the SEC title 2 years ago. Now, I'm going to put more of that blame on Bert Auburn because he's got to make the kicks. That's his job.
Yes.
But it's part of the special teams coach to get the kicker mentally right or to find somebody else you throw out in that spot to make those kicks. It's not like Bert Auburn was amazing all 2024, and then he just
generally you can only blame 3 people: the kicker, the snapper, and the special teams coach.
Well, snapper did his job, so it's the other 2 on that one. So that's number 5. The 5 people under the most pressure to perform in 2026, according to Inside Texas. Jeff Banks, number 5. Number 4, Will Muschamp. Speaking of coaches.
Wow.
And we've talked about this a lot.
No grace periods anyway. There's no grace period here.
No, that's the thing. Like, and Will Muschamp knew that. He knew what he was walking into. But yeah, sometimes when you're a first-year coach or coordinator or whatever, you are given that grace period or a little bit of leeway. But with the expectation surrounding this program this year, there's none of that for Coach Boom.
Well, and the fact that you just let a guy go who got you to a lot of spots, and everybody's wondering, why did you do that?
Yeah. Yeah. Like people, look, football's all about stats, all about numbers. Everybody's got the numbers from PK's defenses the last couple of seasons. And
Yes.
look, Steve Sarkisian and I think Texas fans are expecting this to be one of the best defenses in college football. So, like, not comparing it to just last season, comparing it to the two playoff teams in 2023 and
Sure.
2024. Like, that's the bar. That's why Sark made the move, is he wants the defense to be on that level or maybe even a step up from that. So,
Absolutely.
there's going to be all sorts of eye test comps, but maybe more so statistical comps. Like, okay, with PK, the defense was ranked up here in passing yards allowed per game. It was ranked up here in sacks or takeaways. Like, why is it not there anymore?
Right.
Like, Coach Boom there's no doubt he's under a lot of pressure to get this. People are excited. Obviously, he did a great job in his first stint at Texas. We know his resume as a defensive coach, but yeah, there's not a lot of grace for that dude. This thing needs to look good right away. Number 3, we get to some players here. Texas's starting cornerbacks. Yes, this is not just one person under the most pressure, but the entire cornerback position. So Bo Masco at Rutgers, Cade Phillips going into his second season.
Yes.
Grayson Littleton, those are your projected starters, at least as of right now, at the corner. 2 of those guys are outside, and one of those is your nickel guy. But according to Inside Texas, those guys are under a lot of pressure. Do you agree?
I agree. But those guys, there are going to be times when those dudes get beat. That's just the nature of that. How they bounce back is going to be important to me. Is it going to be an ongoing thing that once a game somebody's going to get behind somebody and just get beat? Or is it going to be, it happened, they made up for it, they knocked down a bunch of passes, they intercepted a bunch of passes. It's how they react to after somebody has some success for me. But then because somebody's going to have some success.
Oh, no doubt. No doubt. Those other guys are on scholarship too.
Yes.
And a lot of those other guys aren't just on scholarship. They're on big money NIL deals too.
Yes.
So
absolutely.
you're gonna get beat. Even the best of the best got beat.
Right.
So it's how do you respond? Can you have that short memory? Can you give up a touchdown, give up a big play, whatever, and then flush it and confidently line up for the next snap.
And then make some plays on your end of it too. So
that's
what I'm looking for. Yeah.
And look, I just obviously all the defense works together, right? So I think Texas, and I think Colin Simmons is the most talented pass rusher in the sport. I think Texas has one of the most talented defensive fronts in the sport. So if those corners are able to hold up and do their thing, then obviously that lets those guys up front eat and get after the quarterback and load up the sack numbers and wreak havoc in opposing backfields. If your guys can only cover for a second, then okay, Colin Simmons isn't going to have that major statistical season that we're all hoping for.
Right.
So, yeah, there's no shortage of talent in that cornerback room, but you're losing your top guy with Manny Muhammad. You've got some young guys expected to be starters. Now, Cade Phillips started a lot last year, and Grayson Littleton started pretty much every game last year, so it's not like you've never seen these guys play at this level, but it's 2 true sophomores and a transfer expected to be your 3 defensive backs. There's some definite pressure there, and I think Muschamp wants to leave those guys on an island a lot, so they've got to hold their own.
Okay, I buy that.
Number 2, well, you already know who number 1 is, Buck.
Yes, I do.
I feel like number 1 may be pretty obvious for people under the most pressure to perform at Texas in 2026. Care to guess?
Kyle Flood?
No.
We're going back to another coach. Well, I mean, Arch Manning. Arch Manning is number 1, correct?
Yes. I thought this would be easy. I didn't mean to stump you here.
No, I'm stumped.
Steve Sarkisian, maybe?
Yeah.
Now, Kyle Flood should be on this list, and he's not.
That's what I'm saying. I'm asking, which one is he? That's probably the way I can go about it. He's not on that list.
I don't know how Kyle Flood is not on this list because that's the coach. Look, people weren't calling for PK's job last year. They were calling for Kyle Flood's job last year.
Yeah, and as
That
bad as the special teams has been, he would have been there before Jeff Banks with me.
right. I agree. 100%. 100%. He would have been there before Will Muschamp for me.
Yeah, you can't have an offensive line. Your offensive line coach has to be one of the better coaches you have.
Yeah, well, he's one of the highest paid coaches on staff, and he's Sark's right-hand man, and that is the position that performed the worst last year. And again, there are a lot of people calling for his job after last season. Steve Sarkisian decided to stay the course, brought him
Yeah,
back
and that
for
wasn't
another
just
year.
buzz. That was people who were really true to wanting him out.
Yeah, that was me.
Yeah.
I'll put myself with the people. I didn't think he did a good enough job last year. So he's back. Okay. Prove that you deserve to be back. And not just for this year, like prove that you are one of the best offensive line coaches
Yes.
in college football. And it's not like Kyle Flood's whole tenure here has been bad. He's put
No.
out some very good offensive lines during his 5 years here, but
Which makes you think he could have figured that left guard out. You could figure that out. Find somebody, figure it out, please.
yeah, well, I mean, it was dumb. And I don't know how the conversations between Steve Sarkisian and Kyle Flood happened mid-season in 2025, but there were so many Texas fans who were like, maybe put Connor Robertson in at center and try Cole Hudson at left guard. Like people were saying that in week 4, week 5, maybe even before then. And for some reason, the coaching staff couldn't figure out that maybe we should at least try it instead of throwing out Nick Brooks here or Connor Stroh here, who clearly aren't good enough to play in the SEC. Like,
right.
I mean, they didn't hit the portal hard enough last year. Some of the recruiting classes, now the 2027 class is very, very good, but some of the recruiting classes, they've missed out on some big-time targets on the offensive line. But most importantly for me, I care about what the unit looks like on Saturdays, and every Saturday last year left too much to be desired.
Now, to me, that's the guy that's, connected. They're both connected at the hip.
Yeah.
Is your offensive line coach and your head coach.
Maybe that's why Kyle Flood's not on this list. It's like,
probably
he's going to stick around for as long as Steve Sarkisian is here. And I agree, Sark should be ahead of Kyle Flood. Sark is the coach under the most pressure at Texas. Year 6, the way he's been talking this offseason, you know what the conversation's going to be if this isn't the year. It's okay, if not in 2026, is it ever going to happen? That's just the nature of the beast. But yeah, Kyle Flood should be on here somewhere.
Yes.
I think. That was a miss by Inside Texas. But yeah, for Steve Sarkisian, look, all of these conversations eventually go back to the head coach. It's the deepest roster. It's the most talented roster that he's assembled at Texas. He's the guy who decided to keep Kyle Flood around. He's the guy who got rid of Pete Kwiatkowski and brought Will Muschamp back. He's the guy who's done all of the talking. He's the guy who has to get this thing over the hump.
Maybe I should feel better that kind of stress is on coaches more so than players. Maybe we should feel better that those are guys that make a lot of money. They've been in the business a long time. They understand football. They can flip it around. Maybe sometimes the player may not be able to flip it around like the coach should be able to do. He's the guy making the cash. He's the guy who's an older guy, should be able to handle the pressure. Maybe that's better than having 5 players, because with 5 players, that'd make you really nervous, I would think.
Yeah, I think, again, with this deep into a coach's tenure, you're going to put the coaches on here. And I know the players make money now, and they get paid a lot of money. And look, I think people hold players' feet to the fire more so than ever before, and I think it's more fair than ever before.
Sure.
But yeah, it's the coach is making more money. Arch Manning's got all these NIL deals outside of Texas, so maybe he's making more money than Steve Sarkisian is per year. But Sark's making like $11 million this season. So that's the guy who is going to be held accountable for the good, the bad, and the ugly that happened with Texas. And that should be the case. Like you could make an argument that his name is number 1. I think the reason Arch Manning is number 1 is because, his last name and the national media and the way that they talk about him and whatever. But look, Sark, if Texas doesn't win it with Arch, then yeah, people will hold it against Arch, but it'll also be Sark.
Oh, for sure. They would share in that. They would share
he's one of the highest rated recruits of all time. He's a Manning. We've been hearing about this guy for a long time. And like if Texas misses the playoff this year, you miss the playoff and forget winning a national title. Playoffs, we're talking about, you couldn't even make the playoffs here. So that's like those guys are attached at the hip. They have been from the moment that Arch committed
Absolutely.
to Steve Sarkisian in Texas. But Sark's number 2, huge year for him. If Texas falls short of getting to Vegas, I'm not saying he's on the hot seat. I'm not saying he should be on the hot seat, but we know how this fan base is. There's going to be people asking questions.
That seat's going to be warm.
Going into next year, yeah, you're probably right. And if Texas misses the playoff this year, then, again, he will be back in 2027, but that I don't think warm is warm enough.
No, it's going to be hot. It's going to be hot
to describe what Sark's
going to be. It won't matter who the quarterback is. That thing's going to be heated up.
Well, the thing is, next year is supposed to be a little bit of a rebuilding year for Texas. Now, with all the money and resources that the Longhorns have, it doesn't have to be. You can go to the portal and put together a roster that's good enough to make a real run at things, but you start to think about all of the guys from this year's squad that are likely to depart in the 2027 NFL draft, and especially your quarterback, he's the guy who comes top of mind, then yeah, you don't want to be going into a very hot seat year with a supposed reload or rebuilding year.
Wow. So you got your offense coordinator and head coach on there.
Well, no, I guess Sarkis.
You got your defensive coordinator on there.
And you got your special teams coordinator on
there.
You
got your special teams coordinator. Wow.
And then, of course, number 1 is Arch Manning, as
you
accurately guessed from the very beginning of this. I mean, he's the face of Texas football, whether it's fair or not. And this team's championship hopes rest on his shoulders. That's how it works when you're the quarterback, but it's another level when your last name is Manning.
And he's already gone through the ringer, so he understands there's not any more pressure now than it was last year. He's gone through the pressure deal. He should be as cool and calm and ready to go and understand this offense and just be himself. I think he'll be magnificent. I really do. I think he's everything that you want to see now after what he went through. You know, if he would have had great success last year, yeah, I would still expect this time of his career that this is where he'd be. He'd be excited about this second time through this.
Yeah, and Arch doesn't need to win the Heisman or win a national championship to be the number 1 overall pick in next year's draft. But obviously his Texas legacy, it all depends on what he does this season, right? I thought about Matthew Stafford a moment ago. Matthew Stafford ended up being the number 1 overall pick in the draft coming out of Georgia in the 2009 draft. And obviously he's had a tremendous NFL career. But his last year at Georgia, Georgia went 10-3. They didn't win the national championship. He didn't win the Heisman Trophy. Had a very solid statistical campaign. But he was just the perfect prototype NFL quarterback, right? Big body, big arm. So he ended up going number 1 despite not being the best quarterback in the country. That could happen with Arch Manning. He doesn't have to have the amazing year to be the number 1 pick in next year's draft. But again, that's not what we care about here in Austin. We care about how it all looks this season. And his Texas legacy is going to be defined more so by what happens here than what happens on Sundays. It's a big year for him, obviously.
Yeah, boy, oh boy. Like you said, 3 coaches on there.
And there should be 4. There should be Kyle Flood on there too.
That's just like I said, I'd rather for that to be that way because they ought to be able to be the guys that are turning around. They've got experience.
I did honorable mentions, if you will. This is not from the Inside Texas article. This is just other names that I thought of. Kyle Flood's the first one that came to mind. Cam Coleman's on this list too. The way people have talked about Cam Coleman, number 1 non-quarterback in the transfer portal, top 3 recruit coming out of high school. His stats the first 2 years have not been great. Now, I don't think any of that is his fault. The quarterback play has been a disaster. The head coach at Auburn was a disaster. But, those excuses are now out the window. He's got a great quarterback. He's got a great offensive-minded head coach. Everybody knows his name. Everyone's going to be paying attention to him. He's got to be really, really good this year. For Texas, obviously, but also for him to actually live up to what people thought he was going to be, because I don't think he has yet. And again, most of this is not on him. He's made some great catches. It's not like he's done nothing in his first 2 years of college football, but
that guy's done nothing with nothing.
I think the stats should take a big step up, and I think they need to take a big step this year.
I should say he's done something with nothing.
Right.
He's been able to do that. I just think if he had all the opportunities with a quarterback that he would really, really be special. It
And
wouldn't be.
that's why there's pressure on him, because he does
Yes,
have that this year,
you're
right?
right.
So
Yeah, he made a lot of things happen with 50-50 balls, but now those balls should be thrown where he can get to them, and he doesn't have to go back and battle somebody for those balls, you know?
I agree. I think everything is set up for him to have a massive year, and I think he will have a massive year. But I think he's under pressure, because it's not just you and I who were talking like this with Cam
Sure.
Coleman. It's every Texas fan, but people all around the country who expect him to be one of the most productive receivers in college football this season. He hasn't been so far in his career, but year 3 at Texas now, money year, contract year. That guy's been a 3-and-done player since his sophomore year of high school. Can it all come together? I think there's some pressure under him to make sure he lives up to the price tag and the billing.
Yeah, well, I think it's all right there. Everybody has to get better. If they do, they should be in the playoffs. I mean, period. There's no reason that you should miss the playoff with this kind of team, period.
Yeah, it'd be a disaster if this team misses the playoff.
And then I'll just say this, for the future, whether Arch Manning's here or not, I watched more film of that kid at running back. That guy is a special one, y'all. He's that dude. I'm telling you, he's that dude. You made Derek Cooper, we're talking about how is he going to fit in as a freshman. That guy next year is fitting in, period. He is a special football player.
You're talking about Landon Williams-Callis, who Texas.
Yeah, I know I'm going way past this year. Sorry.
Yeah, what? You're already punting on this season? You're talking about missing the playoff, and thank God we've got this good running back? What is this?
No, I'm just telling you, the future is bright at that position. That guy is a special one.
Yeah. All right. I hope you're right. But
I found one of those guys that we'll be talking about numbers-wise in the future, sophomore, junior year. Well, he's a Bijan, Ricky kind of special guy. I'm telling you, he's that kind of dude.
Okay. Very high praise right there. Now, you compared Hollywood Smothers to Ricky yesterday, so everyone's Ricky to you now. What's going on here? You hate Ricky? Did he make you mad recently?
No.
Next, you're going to say Baby Rhino reminds you of.
No, Baby Rhino reminds me of somebody that just took a shot on a guy because everybody else said he was this talented. But the guy who had to coach him made a mistake, so.
Oh, took a shot on it, like body shots?
Yes. Well,
drinking?
He's a baby hippo.
Oof. I mean, I feel like hippos would be tough to tackle.
Yeah, well.
I feel like they do a better job of holding on to the football than Baby Rhino did. Sorry about that, Gibson.
Well, he says he's somewhere else and still getting shots taken at him.
Well, that's what happens when you go to Purdue. People are like, he should just be glad people are talking about him, right? Playing at Purdue.
Oh my God.
Yeah, good luck. I mean it. Good luck to Jared Gibson at Purdue this year. All right, we'll take your thoughts. There's the 5 players under the most pressure, or 5 people. It's not. We only talked about 2 players there. The 5 people under the most pressure for Texas this season. All right, we're about to chop it up with Chris Phillips of SEC Unfiltered. We'll go around the league and talk about some of the biggest storylines going into fall camps elsewhere in this league. But before we do that, how about another round of sponsor shout-outs?
Say hello to Jay and the gang over at Sue Pat to the incredible selection of Longhorn apparel. How about this? Hats, shoes, shirts, tees, schedule. I had my schedule shirt on. People stopping me yesterday, wanted me to, hey, show me your back. And I had to keep putting up my arms like that. I said, you want to see these too? And they said, no, we don't need to see those. Just let us see your back. Let's just look at the schedule. We don't want to see your guns. We know you got the guns, but just show me the T-shirt. They've got all of that at Sue Patrick's. Tons of Texas-themed items, gifts, books, cars, wide variety of men's and women's clothing in all sizes. Jay said they even go up to 4X. So they do go to 4X, BK. You're absolutely right about that. They offer free shipping on online orders of $59 or more, free curbside pickup, and plenty of parking space when you go there in person at 5222 Burnett Road. 50 years in the business. The Jelly Cats are restocked. For more information, folks, go to SuePatrick.com.
Yes, indeed. Yep. Wearing a on-field Texas baseball cap today.
Nice.
Get those at Sue Patrick. Also, some love to one of our newest partners here on Bucky and BK. Shout out to Roger Beasley Mazda South.
Yes.
Oh, the #1 Mazda dealer in the state of Texas. 30 straight Mazda President's Club awards. These guys are the very best at what they do. And Mazda's, they gave me a CX-5 to drive for a couple of weeks, and this thing is gorgeous. Definitely check out the 2026 Mazda CX-5, the perfect crossover SUV, fun to drive, loaded with features, safe as well. That's what Mazda is all about. They are top rated in safety. All of their SUVs have all-wheel drive included, standard. That's not a feature that only some trims have. They want you to be safe. They all have blind spot detection, adaptive cruise control, the entire suite of Mazda safety features, and every single one of their SUVs. And the interior design on these cars, man, it's like, I feel like I'm driving a luxury vehicle here. I got to check. It's a Mazda? Like, really? It's a Mazda, and it's at this price? It's insane. The design is incredible. You get that premium feel without the premium price tag. You get the safety. You get the reliability, which is top-notch with Mazda, and you get the best car dealership there is, Roger Beasley Mazda South. 55 years with that Roger Beasley name. Go see them off of I-35 just south of Highway 71. It's our friends at Roger Beasley Mazda South.
Our good friends over at Woods Comfort Systems, for 71 years in Central Texas, they have been getting it done. Anything happening with that air conditioner of yours just doesn't sound the same, or the temperature is not where you want it to be, call Woods Comfort Systems. Their technicians will get out to you very quickly. They're all over the place, as a matter of fact. And folks, it is a great place when it comes to plumbing too now. They do plumbing indoors and outdoors. So if you're having any plumbing issues, don't try to do it yourself. I've been told, Buck, don't you dare try to do anything. You just change the filter in your air conditioner. That's all we're going to let you do. And that's fine with me. They will be there for you. 71 years in Central Texas. Nobody does it better.
WoodsComfortSystems.com, 512-842-5066, the phone number to call. You're right. Nobody does it better, and nobody does it better than McCall Custom Homes. They'll be at your place today, yeah?
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Finishing up some stuff in my shed, getting that done so I don't have any mold in there. It's time to get rid of some of the sheetrock that I had in there. Something wasn't done properly the first time, where water was going the wrong way. They've already come out and fixed up so where the flow goes and where it's supposed to go. And now they got to get rid of the sheetrock because there's mold in there. And you know the Buck is like, hey, it's all dried up now. What could happen now? It's not going to get wet again. You fix that. Mike says, oh, no, you can't have that mold in there. That stuff can get you the big C. You don't want that. I'm like, no, I do not want that. I have everything else except for the big C and, of course, butt lettuce. I haven't had that s'mores or whatever that is, shores or whatever that disease is. I don't want that either. But, boy, I love those guys at McCall.
How did you get to disease talk here? I'm not sure. You've had every disease except for the C and for the butt lettuce parasite?
Yeah, I haven't had the butt lettuce parasite, but I'm not going to any of your locations to get it anytime soon either.
Sorry about the herpes you had that one time. I didn't realize that. Shout out to McCall Custom Homes. Be honest, Buck. They're coming to your place because you need a battery changed in your remote control.
No, I can do that. I don't need. I can change a light bulb.
There you go. Well, custom home builders and remodelers in Central Texas. If you've been thinking about that dream home, call McCall Custom Homes. If you like your current place, but you want to turn it into your dream home, call McCall Custom Homes. Mike McCall, call him, text him. This is his direct line, 512-633-9580. Free estimates for Bucky and BK listeners. These guys are the best. A+ rated by the BBB. Tons of 5-star reviews online. Tons of experience. Everything you're looking for in a home builder / general contractor, you can find. McCall Custom Homes, ATX.com. It's McCall Custom Homes. We build value into your home.
Sweet.
All right, let's go around the Southeastern Conference as we do each and every Tuesday. The man, the myth, the legend from SEC Unfiltered, the great Chris Phillips, joining us here on Bucky and BK. CP, how we doing?
Guys, what's going on? I was going to say, how do you like the lid, man? This is a little bit of a throwback here. The ESU lid.
Wow. Rocking the old Texas Sports Unfiltered cap. Yeah, nicely done.
I had to dust this one off in the back of the closet.
Very nice, man.
It's it's good to be here, man. August. football's here. It's August. For those of you who are into such things, the Hall of Fame game, get us a little taste. And then, obviously fall camp getting going this week. So I guess tomorrow, most people reporting today, with Missouri playing on Thursday and Oklahoma playing on Friday. Maybe those two will be starting today, or maybe they started yesterday. I don't know. But pretty much everybody getting going tomorrow. So, yeah, it's exciting times, man. I mean, the countdown's officially on. We can see the light at the end of the tunnel, soon, very, very soon for all of us. We'll be talking actual games on the field and getting to week one. But I'm not quite off-seasoned out yet. I do reach a point about 2 weeks before kickoff where I'm like, okay, I'm not sick of talking about it, but like I'm really antsy for toe to meat leather. We still got some segments to get out there on our end as far as preview and prediction content and all that good stuff. And tis the season, man. It's that time of year where I'm able to get under the skin of multiple fan bases with one draft. Because some of them are upset that you picked your team's record. Other fans are upset that you picked that team to beat their team. Other fans are upset for different reasons. So, no, it's banter season, man, and we're having a blast. So appreciate.
Yeah, it's always the hot seat season in the SEC, but now it's the new guys coming in. So it doesn't seem like there's a lot of talk about hot seats when you're talking about new coaches coming in and how can they change the fates of some of these programs. I like that better, talking about that, than who's under the hot seat or which player is going to get it or which coach. We do it because we're in Austin. We just got to do it. We got to put certain coaches on programs kind of on the hot seat. Why aren't they? Why aren't they this and why aren't they that? But for you, Chris, it's just got to be fun with some of the new coaches coming into the conference.
Yeah, I think it's a fun storyline to talk about who gets the most out of their roster at their respective spot in year one. I think, again, when you talk Lane Kiffin and Pete Golding, they're in very different situations. So, yeah, the ones out of the John Sumralls, the Alex Golishes, Ryan Silverfield, some of those others. I think those are really intriguing and really fascinating. And it's also interesting to see as you go from school to school and fan base to fan base and how the expectations can vary and what would be deemed a success, right? Because, for example, I picked Auburn to go 7-5, and I thought anything above 500 would be a win for them in year one, because this is a program, guys, that has not gone above 500 since I think either 2021 or 2020. It's been quite a long time. I think it was 2021 that they went above 500, but been a bit. And then I've got my Auburn buddies reaching out, one in particular that owns an Auburn entity that says no, anything less than 8-4 is a failure. So,
wow.
It's expectations, I feel like, pretty much for everybody are sky high outside of Arkansas. Like I really, guys, which makes it fun, right? You want everybody to go into the season with hope and optimism and expectations, but I'd say everyone besides Arkansas. Arkansas is just trying to stay afloat, right? Or get afloat, if you will. Everybody else, from Mississippi State, Kentucky, South Carolina, Vanderbilt, and then obviously you keep going up the list. I think everybody's pretty optimistic about what their season's going to look like. Even Mississippi State fans. I got some state buddies that think they could go win 8 or 9 games with Kamario Taylor. Kentucky folks, I heard them at media days, think they can be the next Indiana. Vanderbilt folks win 10 games last year. Now that's not only their expectation, it's their right. They're supposed to go do that again. How dare you not pick them to do that again, right? So South Carolina, they think they're going to get back to 2024, and how dare you not believe in Lenora Sellers and Nick Harbor and Dylan Stewart? So it makes it fun, but the biggest thing that I run into, and of course we run into, is, here's the deal, guys, and this is not it just is what it is. It's just an observation from me. There are a lot of people out there that like to make predicted order of finishes, but they don't like to attach records to them. And there's a lot of personalities in college football that will not drop a game-by-game prediction and a record prediction. And I get why, right? Like, not everybody's built to be in the kitchen when it's at its hottest. Like, not everybody's built to deal with the backlash, and nobody wants to be the bad guy that picks a football team to lose games and tell a fan base before it even gets going that, hey, this could be a long year. But, guys, the fact of the matter is this. Somebody has to lose games. Like, not everybody can go 8-4. So there's going to be at least 1 or 2 or maybe even more of the teams, especially that I just mentioned, that somebody's hopes are going to get crushed this year, So, like, for me, I was thinking about it this morning because this question always gets asked. I'm not saying that y'all were going to ask it, but we always love to say, what's your hottest take going into the season? So I was thinking, what is my hottest take? Probably my hottest take is that Missouri and Vandy don't make a bowl game. Which, I mean, again, I don't know how hot that is. I don't know if that's where that would rate on a scale of 1 to 10, hot level. But, yeah, certainly yesterday we dropped our Missouri predictions, and, boy, those folks are very, very upset. I'm doing this new thing, guys, that's been really beneficial for me, and I highly suggest it. I'm just not reading comments anymore. So it's really, honestly, it's worked wonders. It's great. So
it's refreshing to your mind. Does it make your mind feel good?
About what? What do you mean?
Not reading the comments. Just
I mean, well, you don't get caught up in stuff that doesn't matter. You know what I mean? So, but people are going to be upset. It is what it is, and I mean, the beauty's in the banter. Like I said, I'm not necessarily posting because I want to be right. It's just, when I sit down with the helmet schedule every preseason and I go through it, and I always say this because it's easy to sit there in like June and be like, yeah, man, I think they're going to be pretty good, right? Yeah, I like this team. I like their coach, But then when you sit down with that schedule in front of you, sometimes you kind of surprise yourself. I didn't expect to be as low as I was on Missouri and Vanderbilt. It just happened that way. So, a pick's never personal, as I like to say. And it's not, but you got to, and I think the thing with this too is, guys, predictions, you got to try to think outside of the box a little bit. This is college football we're talking about,
Yeah.
Had I picked Vandy to go 10-2 last year, y'all would have laughed me off this show. Had I picked them to beat Alabama 2 years ago, you'd have laughed me off this show. So, like, things aren't always – if I picked Texas to go 9-3 last year and lose to Florida, people preseason would have
we wouldn't have invited you back on the show if you
had, And then the funny thing about prediction season, and I'm not griping, it's just a funny observation, is like there's only a victory lap taken if you are wrong. Like, I would be the biggest douchebag in the world if Missouri went 5-7, and then I went to social media to go take a victory lap. Remember when I said this? Like, suck it, Mizzou. You know what I mean? Like, I would be, I would just be, nobody would want to hear from it. But it's the nature of the beast. It's the beauties in the banter. It's why I say it. And,
well, I'm with you, Chris, in that Mizzou thing, because every time I come on, I ask BK, what is Missouri? What I know they're a state, but what is it when it comes to football? What are they? Who are they? And when you talk about Florida, I got to believe Florida fans just think we're not players away. We're a coach away from where we should be. It just depends on the coach. And I think Coach Stein at Kentucky is in for a big shock when he thinks he's the guy who's going to turn it around. You got to have – at Kentucky, you got to have players, Coach. It ain't – you can be a fantastic coach. You need players. If you don't have the players there, that's not one of those places. And at Florida, I think they believe that they're a coach away. Missouri, I don't even know who they are. I'm still asking the question. I mean, they almost got their running back capped during the course of the summertime. What is he going to be like? I don't know what it's like to take a bullet and play football,
Yeah, and they were really upset with me. And you hate, I get it. You hate to speculate on kids' injuries, especially when it's a player.
Right, it doesn't matter what it is, but that injury in particular, I haven't had any players that had that.
And that's the point I was going to make, is nobody knows to a point to where, guys, I was told a little bit over a week ago by someone who works on an SEC staff that their head coach, he is on a staff of a team that plays them around midseason, and their head coach felt really confident that because of what the information he knew about the injury, he feels really confident they will not see him. Now, that goes against what Eli Drinkwitz said. I'm not calling Eli Drinkwitz a liar. I'm not, nothing of the sort. But
sure,
there is, if nothing else, what I took from that comment is there is still some skepticism that he will return, and that if he does, he will be remotely what he was for them last year. Talking about Ahmad Hardy, of course. So, yeah, Missouri's interesting. And I mean, again, dude, I got nothing but love from Mizzou. I went up there last year, had a blast. I know Mizzou people feel disrespected all the time because they're kind of the redheaded stepchild of the SEC still. To your point about Florida, it's funny. I went on a Florida show last week, and Florida's very in put up or shut up mode, to where they're excited about John Summerall. Mm-hmm. But, it's kind of like we've seen this song and dance before. We've gone through the we've gone through the honeymoon phase with a coach and it not worked out. So let's just see some wins. Like he's won over the fan base. And, I talked about this after media days where he had the I'll throw this freaking podium at you moment. It isn't, and y'all know this, right? I mean, y'all went through Tom Herman and Charlie Strong. And I mean, Texas has had their share of coaches that every coach wins the podium and has the honeymoon phase, and then the games start happening. But isn't it funny how because as a fan, you want to see the positives, but these coaches, their shticks are all funny in the beginning. They're all their shticks are great. It's like, man, he's so quirky, man. Like he's so different, man, he's so awesome. And it's such a breath of fresh air from the last guy. And then 2-3 years, however long in, and you're not winning the way you want. And he's doing the same thing, saying the same stuff, acting the same way. And then it completely flips where it's like you can't, it's like nails on a chalkboard.
Oh, yeah. You can't stand and hear him talk. You're right.
Yeah. Texas had that with Tom Herman. Like he would always kiss his players' helmets before a game started. And originally it's like, man, look how close he is with his team. And then it's like, this is lame as hell. Why is he kissing his players? Coach, no, you're right. Everyone, the honeymoon phase is a real thing. And then
the Summerall thing, Gator fans were defending. And I thought it was funny. I was like, hey, I think this is funny. He's just a psycho, whatever.
No,
but he does that in year 3 and they've missed a bowl game back-to-back years. Nobody will think that's funny. No, not even them.
100%. Chris Phillips of SEC Unfiltered joining us here on Bucky and BK. Chris, look, obviously fall camp is about to start for every team in this conference. And one of the things that comes top of mind for folks around the country is quarterback battles. Obviously here in Austin, no controversy, no battle here, but there are a few big time programs around the SEC that are still trying to figure out who their starting quarterback is going to be. You don't need to talk about all of them, but is there a battle or two at the quarterback position around this league that you will be paying the most attention to over these next few weeks?
Yeah, guys. And on the note of Texas, don't judge me for this, but not only is there not a quarterback battle, I couldn't even name Texas's backup quarterback. So there's that. The one I'm paying the most attention to, I think you got to go to Tuscaloosa with Keelan Russell and Austin Mack. I mean, I think that's one that could have the greatest impact in the SEC of any of them. I think Keelan Russell's going to be the guy, but Austin Mack, obviously following Kalen DeBoer from Washington. He was QB2 last year. He was the first one to come out of the bullpen, if you will, after Ty Simpson and some of those late contests and some of that mop-up duty. So Bama's really interesting. I think Keelan Russell can do some things Austin Mack can't, but when it comes to a trust factor and also the way that Bama's schedule opens up first, 3 or 4 games, with all due respect to their opening opponents. I mean, East Carolina, at Kentucky, Florida State. It's a couple of games where Bama should have the talent advantage. And I think for the overarching theme, to kind of zoom out for just a moment, I think I'm most intrigued how many of these battles go into the season, right? Because they're the early SEC schedule, Texas not included because you get Ohio State week 2, but a lot of these teams, they really ease into the season. So, like Florida, Aaron Philo and Tramel Jones Jr. I mean, they've got FAU and Campbell out of the gate weeks 1 and 2. Does that go into the season? Do you name a QB1 and allow a guy to go out against 2 opponents like that and gain confidence? Do you split reps 50-50? Is it 60-40? Is it 70-30? Because week 3 for them, they go to Auburn for a night game. So, I mean, you better have the guy at that point. And John Summerall said at media days, we're just because you start week 1 doesn't mean you're going to start throughout the season. He talked about they've had a 2 quarterback system before. Not that it's ideal, but they have done it out of necessity. So, I think that's really interesting. I've been saying for a while the one at Tennessee I think is fascinating, right? Faison Brandon against George McIntyre. I do think it's going to be Faison Brandon, the youngster. Just the rule of thumb typically is, guys, if you got 2 guys that are pretty even in a battle, you go with the younger, more talented guy. And Faison Brandon is that, right? I mean, George McIntyre, sure, he's got a year in Josh Heupel's system, a year of college experience, but he didn't play, So unless the gap is so wide where Faison Brandon just doesn't know the playbook, and I would say that's more an indictment on coaching if he can't get up to speed with the playbook, because it's a pretty quarterback-friendly system that Josh Heupel engineers over there in Knoxville. I think it's going to be Faison Brandon. Again, they sort of ease into the season week 1. Week 2, they go to Georgia Tech, really tricky game. You've got to have your starting signal caller. So, Yeah, those are the ones. I mean, Bama's the one that jumps out because I think of all the ones I mentioned, I think they are a top contender. They are a real college football playoff contender, depending on if they get the quarterback position right.
Yep.
Since I'm going through essentially all of them at this point. Arkansas with KJ Jackson and AJ Hill, Hill being the Memphis transfer. I think KJ Jackson's the guy. Y'all might recall you saw him in the game against Texas last year in Austin.
Yeah.
I think he can do some nice things for them, for a team that is looking for a spark. He could be it. And then finally here in Nashville, Jared Curtis and Blaze Berlowitz. That was another one, guys. I could not have named Diego Pavi as backup to save my life last year. But it's Blaze Berlowitz, who came over from New Mexico State with Tim Beck. So I always think it's interesting when you bring a guy with you. And Jared Curtis is the high-flying freshman. I just don't see a way Jared Curtis is not that team's starting quarterback, because that is the reason. I think that's probably the bag of goods you sold him, right? To get him to not go to Georgia and go to Vandy, that he's going to be the guy and be the guy immediately. So, but yeah, most intriguing for me, it's got to be Alabama, because, again, I think if Bama gets the quarterback position right, and I think they will, I've got them winning 10 games and getting to the college football playoff. And maybe, as weird as it sounds to say, surprising, because I don't think many are picking Bama to go to the playoffs. So I think if Keelan Russell can be that dude for them, I see them 10-2. I challenge you, go look at Bama's schedule. You can easily talk yourself into 10 wins. I mean, it's not easy by any means, but I think the way it sets up, first 5-6 games, they kind of build up, if you will, as far as competition goes before they have that big showdown against Georgia midseason. And then, back into the schedule, LSU, Tennessee, Auburn to close it, of course. But, yeah, I think it actually works out in favor of the Tide. So, yeah, that's the one to me easily the most intriguing, Keelan Russell, Austin Mack.
Chris, is there a battle at LSU, or is it just about the injury? Because they got like 6 quarterbacks. Is it a true battle, or if the guy they got from Arizona State, if he's healthy, he's playing?
Yeah, it's Sam Levitt's job to lose as long as he's healthy. But I will tell you, Houston Longstreet's a guy that, talking to them, they are really excited about, to a point where I think, if he had to start, or if Levitt, God forbid, was still injured or whatever, like, I think they'd feel pretty confident that he could get the job done. I mean, they brought in Sam Levitt to be QB1. But yeah, Houston Longstreet, really talented kid, made some big things happen during his stay out on the West Coast, and highly regarded prospect, of course. But yeah, it all comes down to Sam Levitt and his foot injury. Lane Kiffin seems to, be confident that he is going to be healthy. And I'm sure we're going to get an influx of pictures and reports and what have you from LSU fall camp. And I mean, that's going to be the question that Lane Kiffin's asked about probably every time he gets any sort of media availability. So we're going to know, I would say. But yeah, I mean, all things that I've heard is he should be healthy. But, it's always interesting how sometimes we get injury reports that seems like things are fine, and they just linger and they linger and they linger. And then we get to game week and it's like, oh, he's actually not good to go. So, but I think he'll be okay. Yeah, it's his job to lose. But yeah, if they had to play Houston Longstreet, I think they'd actually be okay.
Okay.
Chris Phillips, SEC Unfiltered, joining us here for a couple more minutes. My last question for you, CP, putting you on the spot a little bit, but about a freshman or two that you're keeping an eye on around the Southeastern Conference. Don't care about the position, but some of the recruiting heads, maybe they're not paying as much attention. They've been focused on the veterans or the transfers, but give me a couple of freshmen around the conference that you think are poised to make an immediate impact in their first seasons.
Well, I just mentioned one right here in Nashville. That's Jared Curtis.
Yeah.
Right. He plays the most important position on the field, and maybe the most important position in all of sports. I mean, I think he is a guy that, if Vanderbilt's going to establish a floor of getting to a bowl game, it's because one of the reasons, at least, is because Jared Curtis played well, right? And I think you look at Jared Curtis, is he more talented of a football player than Diego Pavia? Yes, he's absolutely more talented. But filling the shoes of Diego is a lot more than that, right? It's the moxie, it's the leadership, it's the gamesmanship, it's the just doing anything it takes to win and being a winner. So, Jared Curtis is certainly one. EJ Crowell at Alabama, who I think could be their RB1, or at least factor heavily in the running back rotation, 5-star guy. he's going to play a major role for them in trying to get the Alabama running game back to where we believe that it should be, or at least back to respectability. One super under the radar for you, Julian Walker at South Carolina, an edge. That's a guy they're extremely high on. And obviously he's going to be the opposite edge of Dylan Stewart. So, if Dylan Stewart's going to get back to the type of numbers he had a couple years ago, he's going to need, a counterpart on the other side to take some of the pressure off him. So Julian Walker, they're really excited about him. I'm trying to think of some others. It's funny. We don't talk nearly as much about freshmen anymore.
Yeah. It's
all these portal guys. So I'm glad you brought it up. Faison Brandon. I mean, duh, right? I mean, that's another one. True. It's crazy because when these guys get on campus in January, sometimes you do forget they are true freshmen, but Faison Brandon indeed is a true freshman. So yeah, I mean, listen, Faison Brandon could end up being, I mentioned Jared Curtis, but Faison Brandon could be the most important freshman in the conference. When you think about Josh Heupel and trajectory of program and maybe some of the pressure on him going in this season, and maybe Tennessee surprising and if not being a college football playoff contender, being a spoiler for somebody,
sure.
Yeah, so Faison Brandon certainly is going to be one of the most important freshmen. So, yeah, I mean, those are just Lamar Brown at LSU, the defensive lineman. I mean, if I went redshirt freshman, I could go Kamario Taylor at Mississippi State. But, yeah, Lamar Brown's another one on the interior. They're going to depend on him to play a lot early. So, yeah, I mean, definitely a couple. I mean, to think, guys, we could have multiple true freshmen starting quarterbacks in this league is pretty wild. So,
it is.
Which I don't know that it's the route best taken for success, because freshman quarterbacks in the SEC typically struggle, but it's also a new era of college football where I could argue guys have never been more ready to play out of the jump. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting.
My last one for you, Chris, is the most dominating defensive player besides Colin Simmons. Is it the kid that you just talked about, Stewart? Is he that next guy? I mean, it doesn't have to be a freshman, just dominating defensive player.
Yeah, I mean, I think Dylan Stewart's right up there for sure. Yeah, and I mean, I agree with you. I'd put Colin Simmons at the top, but yeah, I mean, Dylan Stewart's a guy that I think the potential is. I mean, he's good enough. I think he could be a number 1 overall draft pick. Like he's that talented. Had the back issue last year, and I think that's definitely something to watch for. Mm-hmm. Should be healthy, but Shane Beamer updated, I believe it was at Media Days, and said that he's still working back from that. And I mean, anybody who's ever had any sort of back injury knows that's just nothing to mess with, right? Like it's all it takes is one wrong move, one tweak, and boy, you feel like you got shot in the back, So, but yeah, no, I would say he's right up there as far as game wreckers, dominating players. Yeah, I'd put Dylan Stewart right into the top. And but again, I mean, this Buck, that you need those other guys on the defensive front to get the best out of you. I mean, listen, I remember watching vividly when Jadeveon Clowney was at South Carolina, and people don't realize the reason Jadeveon Clowney was so good was, I mean, number one, he had immense God-given ability, but he also had Kelsey Quarles in the middle. He had Chaz Surratt in the middle. He had Chaz Sutton. He had Devin Taylor. He had other guys around him that you could not – I mean, you could double him, but then you're going to free up the other guys. So you kind of had to pick your poison. And when you got that many good players and that many guys who can get up to the quarterback, that's where you're able to pad the numbers, and it's a game of our ratio to the quarterback at times is what it feels like. So, yeah, Dylan Stewart to me is a guy kind of like Colin Simmons that, like, when he's dialed, you have to game plan around that guy, and you got to know where that guy is at all times.
It's good stuff. Chris Phillips, SEC Unfiltered. Real quick, 30 seconds, CP. I just want to know which fan base has given you the most grief so far for your game-by-game predictions.
Man, like, I did not know that Missouri fans were so hostile until about 2 weeks ago.
Who are they? What is it that they do?
Listen, and I'll tell you this, Midwestern hospitality, it is a thing. You go out there, and I know, God forbid I say anything nice about Oklahoma people on this show, but, Mizzou, Oklahoma, like when I've gone out, to the Midwest, I've felt the love and the hospitality, but boy, I guess that does not apply on the internet, because my goodness, I have seen the teeth of Mizzou people. And I mean, I get it to a degree. They feel disrespected. They feel like we're always picked to be we don't ever get the benefit of the doubt. We're looked at as people don't even want us in the SEC. We're not really SEC. And I'm like, I don't fall in that bucket. I've picked Mizzou to be good the last 2 years. I'm selling more from the standpoint of I have been one that's been drinking Kool-Aid of Missouri at minimum flirting with the playoff, if not getting in, being a 9-win team. And, they have had streets paved of gold to the playoff. I mean, they've had the easiest possible schedule you could ask for. And they have just dropped the ball both times. Well, now they have a murderer's row. So, and now they have a defense with 0 guys coming back. And now they have a brand new quarterback that is, I don't know what I'm getting out of Austin Timmons. And your running back got shot. So spare me, it isn't woe is me type deal, but if I got to sell somebody, right? Unfortunately, I'm selling Mizzou. So they have been the one. The other one that's been funny is they didn't give me the most crap, but Georgia, when you pick them to lose a single game, they act like you picked them to go 7-5. It's they nobody. My buddies were giving me crap over the weekend when we played in that golf tournament. It was all dogs, obviously, and my buddy was like, "What did you say? Nobody what?" I said, "Nobody manufactures disrespect like y'all do. Nobody does." He was like,
"That's the truth."
Yeah. Hey, Chris, what do you think of the Aggies and Marcel Reed? Do you think that this is he better not start to falter in the middle of the season in a big game, or they're going to be talking about, well, we got another quarterback in the fold we're just waiting to put out there?
I mean, I think it's Marcel's team. They're going to ride. You got to ride that out, I think, right? Like, I mean, for better or for what. And, I mean, I think the floor is pretty high for him.
Yeah.
Listen, the expectations are well-defined in College Station. It's playoff or bust. You go to the playoff. You don't want to go in reverse. So, I mean, here's the thing. I do think A&M, worst case, is still going to be right there in the hunt. I think their floor is pretty high, actually. I have them just on the outside looking in. But, I got them going to the Texas game with a shot to get in the playoff. They got to win that one, but I can't trust that they will. So,
there you go.
Spoiler, why would I? I mean, guys, you do realize I'm pretty sure the last 2 years, the week of the game, I picked A&M. I'm pretty positive. Like I know in 24, I can't believe you did that. I know in 24 I did. And last year, I don't remember for certain, but I think I did. Because I mean, they were the favorites, right? Like, I mean, they were the favorites. But I mean, I will not be making that mistake.
You've learned.
I think Texas has just such a mental until they beat them. They beat it. Because I kind of said the same thing in baseball too. And then what happened. So, yeah, I think it's a big year for Marcel Reed, to your point, Bug. It's a very big year for Marcel Reed.
For sure. All right, Chris. Great stuff as always, man. Really appreciate the time and enjoy the rest of the week. And we'll talk to you next Tuesday.
Thank you,
guys.
buddy.
All the best. Appreciate y'all.
There he goes. Chris Phillips, SEC Unfiltered. Definitely check out all of the content that they're putting out. YouTube, social media, wherever you get your podcast, just search SEC Unfiltered and you'll get plenty of takes about the entire conference.
I love it. He's not like me wondering who is Mizzou. He's like, they're no good. Come on, man.
He knows what Mizzou is and he thinks they stink. So you're trying to figure out who and what and why and when Missouri. CP's telling you they're not any good, so you don't have to worry about it.
Taking some flack from the Missouri people.
Yeah, so much for that Midwestern hospitality, right?
Yeah.
That goes out the window pretty quick if you trash their college football team. Maybe they are a real SEC program after all if they're reacting like that. All right, we will dive into some other conversations. A recap of the MLB trade deadline, and we still have the BBK news with perhaps the worst national anthem rendition of all time. But before we go any further, Buck, how about a few more sponsor shout-outs?
I'll say our good friends over at Hat Creek Burger Company. Tomorrow's my Hat Creek Burger golf day. Is tomorrow, so Hat Creek Burger Company is for me since 2008. Love them. Love the burgers, love the fries, and I definitely love the shakes over at Hat Creek Burger. It's good food, good folks, and an awful lot of good fun when you go there. Hat Creek Burger is proud to be a place where you can come in hungry and you will leave full. Believe me. They've got everything that you're looking for at Hat Creek Burger. 30 locations in the state of Texas and still growing. Great playgrounds for the kids. and happy hour for the adults at Hat Creek Burger. As I said, folks, at Hat Creek Burger, there is something there for everyone.
Oh, yeah. Love me some Hat Creek Burgers. Also love audio-visual consultations. Just over a month away from the start of the Texas football season. Week 0 is this month. I mean, we'll have college football being played this month, and we'll have NFL football being played this month, which means this month you better make the call to AV Consultations to upgrade your home TV setup. Make your home the place to be for friends, for family, but most importantly, for yourself this football season. Stop spending all your time and money driving around to sports bars and to friends' places and to in-laws' places. No, you want to watch the games from the comfort of your own place. There's no better feeling than just getting out of bed and walking into the living room and just posting up on the couch for 12 hours watching football on Saturday and Sunday. That's what I get with AV Consultations. That's what you can get as well. TV, surround sounds, home theater rooms, indoors, outdoors, they do it all. They've been in business since 1988. All you have to do is call 512-255-8678 and let Tom McKay and his crew bring everything to you. You can find out more online at avconsultations.com.
I know what I get with Early Bird CBD. I get rid of a lot of pain that would happen to me. Tomorrow's a golf day. I get myself some Hat Creek Burger and also get my drops in. You know, hydrating, my hydration drink. I'll drop a couple of those drops from Early Bird CBD, and then I will be painless for the next couple of days, not only during the course of the round of golf out there, because it's going to be like 102 tomorrow. I will be out there, and I can be assured that for the next 2 days after, my back, my knees, ankles aren't bothering me, elbows don't bother me. Love those drops. Love those gummies too. But now I've gotten so used to the drops, just makes it so much easier for me. But you're a gummy guy. You're an everything guy when it comes to Early Bird, aren't you?
Well, that's the thing. I'm like looking for my drops and I can't find them, which means I took them somewhere else to use them and then didn't put them back. So, yeah, love the Early Bird products. Typically go with the gummies. Take one of these before bed. Take one of these before a flight. Look, they can help with pain alleviation, but I use them to help me just relax, to take the edge off a little bit. I can be high-strung at times. Sometimes I don't want to be high-strung, especially late at night when I'm trying to chill and wind down. That's why I love the Early Bird products. CBD gummies with a microdose of THC. So if you're getting drug tested, look, these aren't for you. But if you're not and you want to have a good time, these are for you. Earlybirdcbd.com is their website. The promo code Bucky, you're going to get 20% off your first order from any purchase with earlybirdcbd.com.
Sweet.
All right. And also, got to give some love to our friends at Kalshi.
Kalshi.
Before the season even kicks off, everyone's making predictions. Who wins the division? Who makes the playoffs? Who's lifting the trophy at season's end? On Kalshi, America's #1 prediction market platform, you could trade those predictions in a live market. Well, the Dallas Cowboys qualify for the playoffs this season. Right now, the Cowboys are trading at 54% probability, meaning a $100 trade would pay out $179.40 if they clinch a playoff spot. Not too shabby. On Kalshi, you're trading against peers in a live market, meaning there's no house. And as the probability changes, you can buy in and out of your position, trade the draft pick, trade the game, and trade more on Kalshi. Download the Kalshi app and use code Bucky to get up to $500 in bonus credits when you trade $25. You heard that right. Kalshi. It's Kalshi. Trade on anything. 18 plus only. Restrictions and eligibility requirements apply. Event contract trading involves risks and may not be suitable for all investors. Kalshi products are not available in all jurisdictions. Prices, values, and available markets may differ from those mentioned. For more information, see kalshi.com/regulatory.
Do I have to, is there a juice that comes with that like my cousin?
You can get some juice.
I mean, does the juice come with that when you Kalshi?
You get $500 in bonus credits when you trade $25 if you use the promo code Bucky.
You're getting the juice.
You can get a lot of juice from the jump on Kalshi.
That's awesome.
If you want to create an account, you and your cousin want to create an account, then you can trade on Kalshi all season long, and you can take advantage of your own promo code, Buck.
I will be using my real name for that.
Yeah. Oh, thanks, Sorsby.
Yeah, I'm not going to be using any of his. I'd like to see some of the names he put down.
You don't what about Shohei Ohtani? You don't have an interpreter you can blame for your
He doesn't gamble. Everything's good with him. Yeah, speaking of that group, did they just pick up a pitcher, the best pitcher in base? I mean, how does that work? Is somebody going to stop them?
So diving in to the MLB trade deadline, easy for me to say. That has come and gone. The deadline was at 5 o'clock yesterday, and now we can put a bow on all of the moves that were made across Major League Baseball. But yeah, the back-to-back defending champion LA Dodgers made the biggest move, and it happened a couple of days before the deadline, but they made the biggest move of trade season, acquiring the back-to-back American League Cy Young winner, Tarek Skubal. So they're the back-to-back champs. They get the back-to-back AL Cy Young winner. And, I mean, the Dodgers already had the best pitching staff in baseball by a wide margin, according to opinion, but also according to team ERA. Like, factually, they had the best pitching staff in the game before making this move, and now they bring in arguably the greatest pitcher in the game right now. And they didn't give up a ton to go get him. It was 3 prospects, but it was the number 5, number 7, and number 17 players in the Dodgers farm system. So it's not like they totally cleaned out their farm to go all in on this year. They didn't give up any of their top guys, and they still got, again, one of the best pitchers in the game. Not
Boy, their front office is getting it done.
They are getting it done, and it makes me feel very nervous about a lockout coming to Major League Baseball next season, because I think a lot of baseball fans and a lot of players and a lot of owners are not very happy with the way this sport is operating right now. And don't blame the Dodgers. A lot of people are mad at the Dodgers. Oh, they're ruining baseball. They're allowed to do this. There's no salary cap.
You're allowed to win.
Right. There's no salary cap. They are allowed to spend. Be mad at your owner for not being as rich and or as willing to spend on your favorite team as the LA Dodgers are. It's annoying as hell. I don't root for the Dodgers, so I'm bothered by it, but like the rules are.
My Yankees aren't like this. I'm glad my Yankees aren't like this.
Right. Yeah, your Yankees have always done it the right way.
Yes.
They've never spent or done anything to tick people off.
A bunch of Hall of Famers that just work hard together, you know?
As crazy as it sounds, I'm not one of these people, by the way, but there are people who are like, I'd rather the Yankees over the Dodgers. Like, give me the Yankees. It's just anybody but them feel for a lot of baseball fans right now.
Who can beat them in the National League? Nobody. The Phillies can't beat them.
Well,
nobody can beat them in baseball.
The team that has the best record in the NL is not the Dodgers. They're a half game behind the Milwaukee Brewers right now. But would anybody pick the Crew to beat the Dodgers in a best of 7 in the playoffs?
Never.
And you've got the Atlanta Braves, who are right behind both of them. They've got a hefty lead in the National League East. Are you picking the Bravos to beat the Dodgers?
No.
It could happen. It's baseball. You can't always predict it. So it's not to say the Dodgers are unbeatable, but they were the heavy favorites before the deadline. Now you get Skubal, and they're even heavier favorites now. Yeah, so that was your biggest move on the diamond. The Red Sox made a big move. You know, the Red Sox have been the best team in baseball over the last month and change. They get
a great winning streak going.
They had the great winning streak going. They go get former number 1 overall pick Adley Rutschman from the Baltimore Orioles. Boy, the Orioles have fallen off. 2 years ago, they were the 1 seed in the AL. They had that young core. Everyone felt like, okay, they're going to be maybe the team to beat in the American League for a while. And it goes to the unpredictability of baseball, maybe outside of the Dodgers. They're now selling at the deadline, and they got rid of maybe the guy who was supposed to be the face of their franchise for the next decade or so. So the Red Sox gave up a lot to get him. Boston's GM is like, our guys deserve it. They've been playing so well. They fought back into the playoff race from out of nowhere, and we're gonna back them because they've been playing well.
Yeah.
So we'll see. You know, the problem with that is you got Tampa and New York ahead of you in the division. Now, Boston's in a playoff spot right now, but with that 3-game wild card series, the Red Sox mortgaged a lot. They could be out of the playoffs in 2 games if things don't work out. And then you look at the 2 Texas teams, the Astros picking up Dalton Varsho from Toronto. This is always fun. The Blue Jays are in Houston right now, and Varsho gets traded from the Jays to the Astros. He literally just walks to the other dugout. Like, he's already in the city where he's being traded to. He just goes. So he was like wearing an Astros jersey, hugging all the Blue Jays players yesterday, but the Astros, they needed a left-handed hitting outfielder. They got one. Varsho's a former Gold Glove winner, great defensively, great year at the plate last season. He's been okay at the dish in 2026. He's a rental guy, free agent after this year. The Astros give up Spencer Arrighetti, who was awesome as a pitcher in the first month and a half of the year, then struggled, and now he's on the injured list. But it's a pretty rare pro player for pro player deal. The Astros and Blue Jays kind of in the thick of things. The Astros especially. The Astros lead the American League West right now. But the Blue Jays get a Major League Baseball ready player. And I don't know what the hell the Rangers are doing, Buck. And you'll get a kick out of this because I know you hate Jacob deGrom because he's a Met. In your eyes, always will be. He vetoed a trade yesterday. He's got a no-trade clause. We don't know exactly the details or where the Rangers were going to trade him and who for, but the Rangers apparently went up to him and were like, hey, we're trying to ship you out of here. And he's like, nah, I'm good.
Yeah, he's good because you know what? The air in the state of Texas is good for him. It's kept him healthy for a while. Why the hell would he want to leave? He's got enough money. And he wasn't a part of the championship ring deal. He was after that, right?
He was on the team, but that was the year he was hurt.
Oh, so he probably still got a ring.
He did get a ring. Yep.
Okay. Well, he knows what the air is in the state of Texas. He's staying kind of healthy. He doesn't want to go somewhere else because the minute he leaves this state and starts breathing in some other air, he's going to be hurt again.
Oh, we've got good, clean air in the state of Texas.
Yes,
is that what you're reporting here?
Fresh air. Yes.
Yes, the nice summer air of Arlington, Texas.
There you go. Very nice.
Blue skies.
Lake Fork area, bringing in that breeze off the lake. It's wonderful.
Well, Jacob deGrom, he was asked about that decision, and he said he believes the Rangers have a chance to make a run this year. And my response to Jacob deGrom is, have you watched the Rangers play baseball this year?
Have you been at any of the games or are you just at the house?
I figured since you're, pitching every fifth day and you're there every day, you would see what I'm seeing. And this is not a team that has what it takes to make a run. I know they were just in first place in the division last week, but they were right around 500. The division sucks so bad. So it's one thing to maybe win an awful division. It's another thing to, in my eyes, make a run is, it could make a run at a championship. The Rangers are not making a run at a championship.
No.
So are you sure? I mean, he likes the air. He likes it in the Metroplex, I guess, whatever it is. If he wanted to win, though, he, would have left.
Sometimes you just got enough money and you like where you live.
Yeah.
And you don't want to be picking up and moving your family again.
That's it. I guess that's what it is. The Rangers made one move. They didn't really buy or sell. They traded Josh Smith, who was great last year, who's been really bad this year. And they got some 4A pitcher. The Rangers sent him to Round Rock right after acquiring him. So Express fans get ready to see Adam Macko. And then the Rangers lost last night to the Giants, who were one of the worst teams in the league, and they committed 5 errors. And everyone's like, why didn't you sell? You guys suck. You should have traded all these good players. And now the Rangers are stuck. So right now the Astros have a 2.5 game lead in the American League West. The Rangers have lost 6 games in a row. The Mariners are also 2.5 back of the Stros. The Astros playing some good baseball. They did lose last night to Toronto and H-Town. But there's your MLB trade deadline recap.
Nice. Dodgers just keep getting richer.
Yeah, the rich get richer. Your Yankees added Louis Garcia Jr. from the Nationals.
They needed a bat, and it didn't matter which side it was from, right, left, down the middle. They got a left-hand bat, so they're fine.
He's having a good year. A couple Cubs made some moves. The Dads, a.k.a. the Padres, made some moves. But, yeah, the Dodgers, the biggest winners again with the MLB.
Wow.
I mean, it's what they do. So it's this is prime Tiger Woods, Buck. It's Dodgers or the field. It's the things we said about Tiger when he was dominating the PGA Tour. That's the last 2 years, the Dodgers were the safe bet. This year, I feel like they're the safe bet again. So we'll find out down the stretch. All right, we got one segment to go.
All right, buddy.
We'll get to the BBK news here in a moment. Before we do, a quick shout out to our friends at Sleep Cycle Center, our guy, Dr. Chad, and his great team at Sleep Cycle Center, they want to make your sleeping problems go away. If you snore, if your partner snores, if you have trouble falling asleep, staying asleep, if your partner has those problems, go see our friends at Sleep Cycle Center. 2 conveniently located Austin area locations. Their facilities are super nice. They're super clean, and they've got the best technology to make your sleeping problems a thing of the past. Over 22 million U.S. adults have undiagnosed sleep apnea, and too many people fail to recognize the early warning signs that snoring can provide. Again, daytime sleepiness, fatigue, forgetfulness. You know when you're not right. If you're not right, stop putting it off. Don't just drink 5 more cups of coffee or 2 more Red Bulls and say we're good. Go see our guy, Dr. Chad. Free consultations, $100 off an at-home sleep study if you mention this show. They want to solve your sleeping problems for good. You'll be so happy. This is the best thing you can do for your life. SleepCyclecenters.com. That's their website. You can go there, get more information, and plan your consultation today.
Very nice.
Buck, the BBK news as we put a bow on a Tuesday show. We've got a new candidate for the worst national anthem performance of all time. We've had a few of these in the history of this program.
Fergie,
this is
Carl Lewis.
Yep, Fergie, Carl Lewis. Who else? I wish we didn't start down that path because I don't remember.
No, we'll get on that. Who was this? Who did this one?
So this happened last night at a women's pro baseball league game. This is actually a brand new league. Just started.
Can I say another one?
Another one. The Women's Pro Baseball League, the WPBL. It's not softball. Obviously, you got professional softball leagues out there, including the AUSL. But this is pro baseball, the Women's Pro Baseball League. Yesterday was day 1, a matchup between the Los Angeles Queens and the New York Heights. Game took place in Springfield, Illinois. The Queens won 10-8, if you care. That's not why we're here.
No.
This is a famous person that sang this. I'm not going to tell you who it was yet. I know it's going to make you sad when I do. We're going to play the audio here. It's a woman who's the lead vocalist, and then there's 2 background/accompanying singers who are on the field with her.
Ooh.
Here is the audio only. I feel like I have to apologize to the troops for this one. Maybe the worst Star-Spangled Banner of all time. Take a listen.
Oh, say can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming.
Quick pause.
Yeah, that sounded a lot like my mother when I was a little kid calling me for dinner. So it's an old woman. I got that.
It is an old woman. And you could tell there's 3 women up there, but one is clearly dominating. There's a lead, and then there's 2 backgrounders. All right, we continue.
Whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, or the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
I don't know if I can blame the lady. I like to blame the people who chose her to do that, because don't you have to at least audition? You have to understand that if you're doing that, you need to hear them give you a tape or something. And I don't mean a tape of when you sang in the Supremes or something like that, because this is an older woman. I got a feeling. I mean, like older than the Buck woman. She's older than me. And so if you got a tape of her when she was 25, then you're a fool to think she's still sounding the same way at 95.
That was a tough listen.
Yeah, that was tough. I'm not, like I said, I don't blame her. She tried her best. But whoever did this, whoever gave her the ability to do this was, she may not be able to hear in one ear. I mean,
I blame her a little bit because, like, if you sound like this, don't say yes to something like this. Right? Like, I agree. More of the blame should go on. First of all, this is awesome. We love this. This is great content for us.
Yeah.
And it's almost a bucket list item for me to be at a sporting event where the national anthem is botched to this bat. Like, I want to experience something like this in person, where someone screws it up or forgets the words. Like, that's something I would like to be a part of and feel that cringe. Like,
the people that I'm thinking who it could be, Della Reese or people like that, they've been dead for like 30 years ago, 40 years ago, and this woman's still alive. So this is an old woman.
Yeah. So you're on the right track.
It's an old black lady.
You're very much on the right track. And you mentioned the Supremes. Like, you're right with that era of Motown.
Oh, it's a Motown singer.
It is a Motown singer, a Motown legend, I would argue. This is 85-year-old Martha Reeves.
Are you kidding me?
I wish I was. The lead singer of Martha and the Vandellas.
The Vandellas, Martha Reed and Vandellas. They can't let it. You couldn't let it. Somebody ought to have said, Martha, no, there's no way. Can you give me just a couple bars of this before we put you out there? Then again, it was the Women's Pro Bowling Tour.
Pro Baseball League.
Oh, you said PB something. That Pro Bowl? No.
No, yeah, you're right. WPBL. It could be Women's Pro Bowling League.
Okay, maybe it was the Pro Bowling. I got it. They couldn't find anybody else to do it. No, you can't let her go out there and do that. That was horrible.
What a brutal way to kick off a league, too. I mean, if that just happened in like a random regular season game, 10 years down the road in this Women's Pro Baseball League, that it would still be front page news. But this, talk about a bad omen. Talk about some foreshadowing. Like, this is your first national anthem singer that you ever have, and that's what you get?
Somebody said she's only 1 year older than me. I beg to differ. I'm only 71. I'm a young 71-year-old chap.
This one hurt me. Like, dancing in the street, nowhere to run.
Oh,
Your love is like a heat wave. These songs are jam. These are songs I listened to in 2026.
These are hard 70s,
songs. Yeah. That's what, and like, it's tough. It's tough. I love it.
Smokey Robinson. This is the Supremes, the Four Tops. This is back in those days when that was good, when she sounded good. Oh my goodness, don't ever do that again.
I couldn't play the video due to some copyright rules, but like that, I don't know. They're panning over to some of the players on the field and some of the fans, and most of them are like, they keep their composure. They keep their
very respectful for that old lady.
I just don't know how. There's no way I'd be able to do that if I'm in the stands.
What did the Vandellas do? What did the two Vandellas do? Were they standing there? Were they laughing?
Well, those were just two random women. I don't think they were famous, the other two. But it was clear that they were kind of ceding to Martha, like, you take the lead. She had a couple of solos in there. And, I mean, it was an unmitigated disaster from the jump. Sometimes it's like, all right, midway through it gets screwed up. But this was, I mean, from right here.
Oh, sick.
Like, all you needed was the O, and you're like, oh.
Oh, no.
Oh, no. Oh, it's so sad, but so good at the same time.
Yeah, she got to have guts to do that. I mean, she's past, she's got great grandkids. So she's past that where the grandkids are like, Grandma, was that you?
Those kids are going to school today, and they're like, I don't know her. I don't know who that is. For years, they were bragging, like, check out my grandma, check out my great grandma. Now it's like,
oh, yeah.
I've never seen that woman in my life.
Oh, my goodness.
Can you see by the dawn's early light?
I don't know if I can handle much more of that.
Dude, that is you. Those three were down at the church basement practicing that. That's too bad.
You think that
That echo at the church basement, that echo downstairs must have made them sound better than that. You know?
Oh, Martha, come on,
Martha
man.
Reeves, really.
That was tough. All right. Why today's
I don't need Diana Ross trying to do that. Don't hey Diana, don't you dare do that. Let Martha hold that mantle.
Don't ruin the legacies of the old Motown legends, please.
Don't do that. She won't do that to the Supremes.
But Diana Ross, I feel like she's still, I don't know, tours. I feel like I've seen her recently performing, and it hasn't been bad.
Yeah, I mean, it's like Gladys Knight could do that. She could hang in there.
Think
but
so?
I don't think, yeah. And Gladys Knight's got to be, she's got to be in her 80s. Too. Well, maybe even older than that.
All of them are in their 80s for sure.
Yes, no doubt.
Gladys, Diana, and Martha, they're all mid-80s, low to mid-80s would be my guess.
Low to mid-80s is right.
Yep, that's where they're at. So,
wow.
Awesome. Thank you for that, Martha. Thank you, Women's Pro Baseball League. Maybe they just wanted people talking about them, and
they got it.
Boy, did they succeed.
Because I ain't watching it.
I figured that. You didn't watch the Queens and the Heights last night?
No.
Okay.
I was too busy watching the WNBA.
Yeah, I'm sure you were. What happened last night in the W, Buck?
I think the Fever won.
It just feels like you're just saying that because you think there's a good chance that happened.
Yeah, there's a good chance that it may have happened last night.
They did not play last night.
CB and I are the only ones that are paying attention to the WNBA right now.
Clearly you're not, because the Fever did not play last night, and their most recent game they lost. So,
sorry about that, CB.
Why today's not so bad. Speaking of women's sports, Buck, National Chocolate Chip Cookie Day.
There you go.
Figured you were going to make a line about that.
I'm not going to say anything about the new pro baseball league, the Aprons that they played last night.
I don't think there's an Aprons team.
I want that award. I want it badly.
It could have fooled me. National White Wine Day. Speaking of women.
Didn't mess with that. Never messed with white wine. Never did anything for me.
Single Working Women's Day also. Shout out to you single women in the workforce. A couple of quick birthdays. Roger Clemens, legendary lifetime Longhorn. Very squeaky clean career. No controversy with him. Did it the right way.
None whatsoever.
Shout out to Jeff Gordon celebrating a birthday. How about President Obama celebrating a birthday today? Billy Bob.
How old is Obama now? 70 what? 78?
65.
Ooh.
Damn, you're trying to.
He's young compared to the old dudes we've been carrying around for the last couple of years.
Trying to send Barry O to the grave, huh?
He's just real young compared to the old dudes that are sitting in the big chair these days.
Compared to the last two we have, yes.
Wow.
Billy Bob Thornton, he'd be more likely to be president with his age.
Yeah.
He's 71 today. And born on this day now dead. Ooh, Louis Armstrong, the jazz man.
Satchmo.
Yeah, nice. There you go. That's why today's not so bad, and that's
not so bad, brother.
That's a Tuesday show. Thanks to all of you people for tuning in. Thanks to Chris Phillips for joining us. We'll have some practice reports to talk about tomorrow, plus the coaches poll to talk about tomorrow. College football on the brain. We've got plenty of NFL to get into. Bijan Robinson got paid. We'll talk more about that on a Wednesday show as well. Plus Chip Brown will join us. But we are out of time. Thanks again to you people for tuning in. Buck, great show, my friend.
Same to you, bro.
Thank you, bro. And we will talk to you people tomorrow.
Welcome.
Welcome.